So this is my infographic that I made for visual literacy to share with teachers. I'm working with teachers right now who are having trouble understanding how to plan a math unit with the end in mind. So the assessment, um, looking at the assessment before you plan the lesson. So in looking at this, I want them to start by looking at the standards and what needs to be covered and what the students are going to need to come out with, what are their I can statements, and then also looking at actual assessment items. So what will it look like to do well or to master this particular skill, and consider the vocabulary that might be new, sort of anticipating what your students might need help with in terms of new vocabulary, and choosing something knowledge. So based on the underpinnings of the standard, what's something that will help engage the students without introducing new material and just related material. And then beyond that, being able to choose multiple lessons that allow for time for variety of strategies, for discourse, for student conferencing, for the students to interact with the material multiple times in order to make sure that they gather a full understanding. And then this one I struggled with a little bit because I don't want to put check for understanding just at the end. I'd actually like to have some little stops along the way of where I would put checking for understanding so that the assessment items were being used formatively to gauge understanding as well as summatively at the end. And then remembering that you have to stop and sort of recap and say, look at how far we've come, and help the students feel that sense of accomplishment at the end. So that's an oversimplified math planning unit, but I wanted to start with something that just gave the biggest picture possible, so that as we dove into it with teachers, it would feel a little less overwhelming, a little more like we had a stepwise fashion to follow.